legends, welcome back to the channel where we appear to have an unhealthy obsession with AMS2. Honestly, ever since the new update came out yesterday, I've not been able to stop playing. They've taken my favorite car and track combo and just stratospherically multiplied the fun. Based on the thumbnail, I'm guessing you guys probably already know what we're going to drive and where, but what you're looking at right here is the Formula V12, and what we'll be bearing down on in a few moments is the historic Adelaide circuit from 1988. Okay, so here we are in the circuit, and I'm going to show you guys before we get started how to extract the most fun out of this experience. So first you want to go to Options, Controls, Force Feedback. Now, these are settings that Reza recommend for direct drive wheels, in particular the Fanatic DD1. Start with the gain at 50, it's what they recommend. The low force boost can go anywhere from 10 to 30 depending on what you like. I keep it at around 15, but I might try it at 20 because, you know, might as well extract some extra bumps and fun out of the experience. Now, FX they recommend keeping at 50. FX deals with the sympathetic engine vibration you get through the wheel, which for me is quite realistic. I experience that in my road car all the time, so when I don't have it in a sim, it just feels kind of naked and empty. It has a sort of a tire scrub effect that runs through the chassis that you should be able to feel through the wheel. Again, something I've tested many times in my road car driving past the limit. Scrub can most certainly be felt through the wheel. Some people prefer this off. Feel free to put it off if you want, but I actually find it more realistic with the FX at 50, and that's what the developers recommend too. Menu spring strength doesn't really matter. Don't jack it up too high. It's just the centering force for your wheel in the menus. It doesn't affect the game at all. And obviously the type, set it to new default. It's so much better. The low forces come through so much more nicely. Next, we're going to go over how to change the default setup ever so slightly just to get a little bit more, well, make the car a little bit less homicidal on this track, because the two aren't exactly the best match in their stock form. So when we go here, the first thing you want to do is lower the fuel. You're going to burn through the tires way more quickly than you burn through the fuel on this if you drive anything like I do. I'd put it to about 30 liters, get some nine fun laps out of it. Believe it or not, we're actually not going to change the aero balance or the sway bars. They're actually reasonably decent. I still have to try it on other tracks because the aero balance originally on this car was absolutely homicidal, but I think they've tweaked it a little bit since. What we're going to do instead is go straight to the suspension section. Believe it or not, the default camber is actually very good. The ride height is quite good as well, as are the stock suspension settings. However, the thing we're going to change, most notably, is the fast bump is going to go back one, and the fast rebound is going to go back one, and the slow bump on the rear is going to go back one as well. What this is going to do is allow the car to squat more into the rear tires under acceleration, thus giving us more understeer and more grip when we accelerate, which you'll understand why that's necessary the moment you drive this car on this track. In regards to the fast bump and the fast rebound, that simply lets the rear tires absorb the bumps, the very many bumps on this circuit, a little bit more elegantly. Everything else, the default settings, is actually quite workable. I'm sure you can extract tenths if you really get in there and try and tweak things, but given the amount that these cars are going to change over the next couple of weeks coming up to full release, probably not worth your time quite yet. Alright guys, here we are at the pits at historic Adelaide in the Formula V12. Without further ado, let's just get stuck right into it. Now, I have jacked up the gain settings on my DD1 because this car is a little bit weaker than some of the others when it comes to the overall force feedback, and you'll notice this in early access. It's a little spotty here and there. For you guys that don't have access to something like that, I will just jack up the gain in-game a little bit, maybe up to 60, maybe a little higher, whatever feels right. Because you've got to understand, every time you see someone driving a car of this vintage from onboard footage, I mean, they're not having a good time. So it's got to feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's got to be at least half an arm day. So I'm trying to slowly warm this car up here. It's so manic. It's so homicidal. It's unbelievable. It's already, even on the outlap, it's just sheer joy and terror at the same time. Now, the setup changes we've made from defaults actually make the car way more manageable. I was amazed at how much of a difference it made, because the car wants to just bump you out and spin under throttle at every opportunity, but just kind of adjusting the rear bump and the rear suspension appears to have done the trick more or less. Oh, I completely overshot that one. Yes, it is invalidated. That is completely valid. So once I get the car warmed up under this lap, we'll get you guys a commentated run of the track, maybe give you an idea of how to tackle it. Mind, I am no expert, and certainly commentating while driving an old historic Formula 1 car is one of the harder things I've done in my life, but alright, here we go. Going down the final straight, we're about to cross the start line. Got to get ready. You basically brake at 75 meters down 2 gears, smash the chicane with the throttle, flat out, use all the runoff to the right here, wait for the 75 meter mark, go down to second, try and finesse the throttle, don't spin over the bumps there, down to first for this, finesse again over the crazy bumps on this circuit, brake, stay in second if you can, and just accelerate without spinning on the exit. Now just down a gear and finesse the throttle through this little section, and then back down a gear, hard 90-degree turn. Try not to grab the inside curb like that, it will spin you. The curbs are homicidal on this track. I can't believe people used to race here. Oh man, what a thing. Alright, on one of the big straights, now we're just smashing down flat out. We're waiting for the 100-meter board to appear on the left. I'm going to brake really hard and see if we make it on time. Yes, more or less we did. Gradually on the throttle, it's so easy to spin here, so easy to spin hard on the brakes, down a gear. This is a deceptively difficult corner, that one. All flat out through here, absolutely unbelievable, the level of traction, and just brake hard the moment you straighten out the car, finesse it around the final hairpin, and gradually on the power. Try not to lean on the curb as much as I did there, it will unsettle the car. And let's see if we can do anything to build our pace a little bit. Again, it's astoundingly difficult to talk and drive this absolute beast of an automobile. But God, just listen to that engine. Just listen to the sheer insanity of driving this thing. Like, can you imagine having done this back in the day? No TC, no ABS, the aero sucked. There's too much power strap, so you're basically strapped to a rocket, just waiting for your goggles and a cigar. Ah, the bumps, the feeling, the undulations through the force feedback. This game renders the sensation of driving so joyfully. I'm already sweating. It's only been like 3 laps or something. Unbelievable. Alright, waiting for that 100-meter board. Let's brake hard. Let's see what we can do. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see if we can put this together. Oh, so difficult. Car tends to understeer there for some reason. Maybe it's off camber. Maybe the bumps kind of just bump you right out. There could be a setup adjustment for that, or maybe there could be a skill adjustment if I just didn't suck as much. Not too bad, not too bad. Not too bad. We'll give it 1 or 2 more laps for you guys to get a real good feel of what's going on here, but I'm... Oh, dear Lord. Just the sheer joy. It honestly, the lap time doesn't matter. I don't even care if I do well or not. This is so fun. And this isn't a paid promotion for Forza or anything. Like, I've never been in touch with the company. I've never played AMS 1. AMS 2, Early Access, is my first introduction to this series. And man, I'm just glad this game exists. I'm glad something is going to come about that may actually finally give rFactor 2 a run for its money handling-wise. I cannot wait. And something that looks next-gen as well. Something that's able to actually be developed on in a timely manner. I love that the sim racing landscape is expanding more than anything. I love that you pretty much have something no matter what kind of racing you're into. I wasn't even into open wheelers before this. I didn't even know that Adelaide had a GP circuit, but here we are. That's the joy of sim racing. It opens you up to so many new things. Ooh, my lap times are like getting worse in real time. I like it. Maybe I should shut up and just put something meaningful together. Alright, hopefully you guys don't get too bored, but I think looking at this car you probably won't. My God, the force feedback detail is just astounding. I'm loving every moment of this. I'm sweating like a maniac. alright. There's no tyre flat spotting yet, boys. A bit of a lock-up is fine. Ah, 115, I'll take it. It's a harsh 115, but it is what it is. Oh, guys, this is something else. If you don't have one, just grab a copy of AMS2 while it's on early access. It's already worth its weight in gold for me. This car and track combo was absolutely next level. It makes me less ashamed to be an Australian, and you know, that's worth its weight in gold too. Until next time, guys, make sure to smash subscribe, stay up to date with all the future content involving AMS2. We're going to keep a real tight lid on it. If you don't like it, well, smash the dislike twice, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.